Today, inadvertently, we're going to answer some of the burning questions out there on YouTube about the phenomenon that is Jay Wood's WCE. Well, not quite phenomenon, but you get my point. It's been asked, what's the J stand for? How old are you? Are you gay? Have you ever had sex? Who exactly is she? Is that your imaginary girlfriend? Well, today we'll be answering those questions and more in a feature that I like to call To put the story in context, it starts here with little Jimmy. At age 19, here he is in his dorm room at Virginia Tech. Little did his parents know when they named him James Christopher that meant the usurper of the Christ bearer. He's a little skinny and scrawny, ain't he? Daisy says he's cute, but then she likes those kind of tall, lanky guys. With the jacket on, you really can't see how thin he is. Let's look at a different picture. No, he doesn't always dress like a pirate. It's Halloween. But check out them ribs. Don't you just want to offer him a sandwich and drag his scrawny ass down to the gym? Oh, how the times have changed. So, this is a story about how I met my ex-wife. Really, the story starts way before that. Weeks and weeks before that. I was at Tech. It's spring. The beaches are full of beautiful women reclining. It's the weekend. And as usual, I was drunk. No surprise to anybody that knew me back then. So that night, I'm in a girl's dorm room. Dim lighting. She's reclining seductively on her bed. And she says that her roommate's out of town. Well, I was drunk, but I had enough of my wits about me to be able to blurt out, "I gotta go." "Why?" she asked. "I don't know. I just know I need to go." And I went. Now, don't get me wrong. I like girls. Women. I like girls and I like women now. But not that girl in that particular way. And so that night I kind of resolved that I needed to stop running around so much and track myself down a serious girlfriend. So that summer for my job, I decided that if I want to have a good chance of rustling up myself a good girlfriend, I should probably work where there are a lot of women to choose from. So I chose a job in telemarketing. And let me tell you what, it was a brilliant move. Because you see, eventually when I got that job, there was like me, one guy, and 5 women to choose from. They were all about my age, some of them in relationships. But give me a ratio of like 1 to 5, I've got a fighting chance. I can still remember my interview for that job. It's seared into my brain. Not like John Kerry, this really happened. So we're sitting downstairs and I'm interviewing with the supervisor, and off to the side are 2 beautiful women. And I tell you what, I am completely distracted in this interview by one of the women. I mean, both of them were beautiful, but one just, I couldn't stop looking at her. She was incredible. She had these incredible eyes, and they were really dark, and they really stood out vibrantly. She's a short little girl, thin, big smile, had lots of energy. And while I was there, one of the cable installers was hitting on her. And I'm jealous because I want to be talking to her and she didn't want to be talking to him. So, obviously she wanted to be talking to me. And so I get the job come up, getting to know the ladies over the next couple weeks, and seeing what my options are. One of the girls, not the one that I really had my eye on, but the other one, she was flirting with me constantly. There was this one time she had on this mesh dress, our mesh top, with these flowers on them covering important areas. And let me just say that she was a healthy woman. And one day she asked me, how do you like my shirt with its strategically placed flowers? Ladies, don't do this to guys. They'll remember it forever. So this is the summer after my freshman year, going out on the weekend, time to get together with friends that were at other schools, catch up. My friend from University of Illinois, another friend that stayed back home and went to school in Fairfax while I was down in Blacksburg. So we decided to go out dancing in Georgetown. The nice thing about D.C. back then is it had a 18-year drinking age, so we could drive into D.C., get drunk, and then drive back to Virginia where we couldn't drink because they didn't want us to drink and drive. So there we are on K Street underneath the highway, and we mixed up some screwdrivers, and so we're drinking that in the car before we go to the fish market because we're too cheap to buy the beer there. And so I drink a lot after telling my friend, don't drink too much of this, it'll come back and get you later. So we go in, I'm having a great time. In fact, what I remember, I was having a great time, but I didn't remember the whole time. However, I do kind of remember this one part where the guy was saying, what's your effing problem? And I was saying back to him, I don't have any effing problem. And, we went back and forth on that verbally for a while. And the next thing I know, I remember sitting at the bar with some ice and blood on my face, broken glasses, and the bartender checking me out and said, is there anything that I needed? And I said, yeah, I need another beer. So my friends were really good about it. They took me back home, just asked me, please don't puke in the car. So I made sure to keep my head outside the door going, yeah, faking as if I was. Surprisingly, they were willing to go out with me other times after that. I got home, looked at myself in the mirror, surprised, why do I have blood on me, went to bed. And I missed work that next morning, dumb me. So that Monday, I go back to work, and silly me, I should have known better, because one rule about hunting, I've got a black eye, I've got this wound, my glasses are still kind of bent up, and of course, the hunter becomes the hunted. Yes, that's when my ex-wife zoomed in on me and took possession of me as her own. In fact, she was that girl in the interview that I couldn't take my eyes off of. And really, for a long time, I could not take my eyes off of her. We were together for probably about 20 years. Now, some guys listening to this might think, you had 20 good years together. Sure, she ripped out your heart and stomped on it and then took all your money away, and then what she didn't take she made you spend on attorney's fees. But there must have been some good times in there. And yeah, it's a mix of highs and lows. But for you guys out there, this should be a cautionary tale about watching your liquor, and remember, you might think you're the hunter, but you are the hunted. So here I am at age 20. I had to hock all of my clothes in order to buy a crib. But sure, things get better. I was able to get part of a pair of pants out of hock and make some cutoffs. And there's little June. She just turned 20 the other day. So there I am a couple years later, working on a paper for school with Daisy, new baby there in my lap. Daisy is, of course, the she that I live with now, my 16-year-old daughter. So yes, eventually I was able to get a whole set of clothes out of Hawk. Here I am feeding little Daisy, and there's June, the big sister.